7th, 2022, and this is the first hearing of this month for the hearing officer. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I'm the hearing officer for the city. I have to read something into the record, and then we can go ahead and jump into our very brief agenda this afternoon. The City of Tempe hearing officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out the provisions and the intent of the Zoning and Development Code and the Tempe City Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the City of Tempe. These violations include, but aren't limited to, deteriorated landscaping, inoperable vehicles, deteriorated structures, storage of junk or refuse, or deteriorated swimming pools. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after numerous attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain voluntary compliance with the code. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, rental agent, property manager, or other responsible individual to remediate a code violation or authorize the city to abate the condition giving rise to the violation. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violations occur and may be collected as an assessment against the property found to be in violation. On today's agenda, we have only 3 items. We have a set of minutes from May 17th, 2022, and 2 property abatements. Agenda item number 2 on the published agenda is being continued to a future date. That's the Peterson property abatement, CE 221546. There was apparently an ownership change, so we need to re-notify that case. So we are continuing it to a future date. Other than that, we have 2 other property abatements. Any property owner who is aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on June 21st, 2022. Again, my name is Vanessa McDonald. Joining me this afternoon from Community Development are Cassidy Hernandez to my left and Drew Yoakum. Thank you guys for being here. So that brings us to the first item on our agenda. This is a set of minutes for the May 17th, 2022 hearing. I had a chance to review those hearings after they were sent to me by Cassidy. Thank you. And I believe they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the minutes of May 17th, 2022. As I previously mentioned, case number 2 is no longer on the agenda, so we're going to skip over to agenda item number 3. This is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the O'Connor property located at 6818 South Terrace Road. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Ms. Julie Schofield. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Julie Schofield. I'm a senior code inspector for the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. I'm here this evening to request a 180 open abatement for the property located at 6818 South Terrace Road. This case has been open since early March of 2022. I have received complaints for deteriorated landscaping and also junk, trash, and debris being stored on the front and or side of the property. I visited this property the first time on March 7th of 2022, and I did notice that there was overheight grass and weeds in the front and the sides of the property, as well as items being stored outside, mostly boxes, trash, of that nature, and that's when the first notice was sent. I have since then issued a final notice as well as a citation which has gone which they failed to appear on. I would now like to show you the pictures that were taken earlier today. This just shows basically the front of the property. However, they did take care of the overheight grass and weeds on the front and the sides. but there is some junk, trash, and debris still being stored on the side of the property. And you can see a small amount in this photo, but the majority is still on the north side of the property. So as I stated before, I'm requesting the 180-day open abatement, at least for the junk, trash, and debris that seems to accumulate at this property at 6818 South Terrace Road.
Okay. I have the pictures that you included in the packet from April. And so it looks like maybe they gather out in the front yard occasionally. There's a grill out there, chairs. But that changes from the pictures I saw today, but there's still that gated area between the backyard gate and that chain link fence. I don't know what that is, but so
Yeah.
that's what will be cleaned up with
That's correct.
with the abatement. And then we would do 180 days just to ensure that that area stays clear.
Yes, ma'am. As you can see in this picture, there's like kids' toys and there's a table out there. So I do think they gather out there
Right.
and whatnot. So it's mostly on the north side. But in the event there's anything that should not be out there, I would ask that we could go ahead and have it removed.
Okay. Thank you. And your communication with them, they haven't responded or?
There has not been any communication this time around with this property owner.
Okay. Thank you. We don't have anyone here in the chamber. I don't know if calling in is even an option anymore. If it is, do we have anyone on the line?
No, Madam Hearing Officer, we have nobody who's called in or submitted a comment, but they still can call in
Oh, okay.
if they want. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Well, the photographs kind of speak for themselves, and, you've clearly attempted to contact them repeatedly without results. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and approve your 180-day open abatement contained in KCE 221488.
Okay, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is agenda item number 4. This is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Brakefield property. This property is located at 2307 East Aspen Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Melissa Ensing. Good
Thank you,
afternoon.
Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Melissa Ensing, and I'm a Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe, Code Compliance Division. I'm here this evening to request a 180-day open abatement for the property of 2307 East Aspen Drive. This case was initiated on March 3rd, 2022 for deteriorated landscape with grass and weeds growing in the gravel landscape. This case has received 4 complaints. I have sent 2 notices to the property owner along with a notice posted to the property. I have not had contact with the property owner. I have issued a citation for this property for deteriorated landscape. The owner failed to appear, and it's now gone to collections. At this time, I'd like to present photos taken today of the existing violations.
Okay.
In this photo, it's the front of the property. You can see the grass and weeds in the front yard as well as on the side that have grown even further from the beginning. And then on this one is the east side of the property, and there's grass and weeds scattered throughout the gravel. As stated before, I am seeking a 180-day open abatement for the grass and weeds located at 2307 East Aspen Drive, Tempe, Arizona 85282.
Okay. Thank you. It looks to me like they may have cleaned up the area on this picture, like around that little rock path, but there's still a lot, that would need to be done to bring it into code compliance. So thank you. And you did say you wanted a 180-day?
Yes, Madam Hearing Officer.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Yoakum, anyone?
No, Madam Hearing Officer, we've not received any communication at this time.
Okay. Thank you. So there's no one on the line and no one here in the council chambers wanting to speak on this item. So given what I see in the photographs today and your attempts to contact the property owner with no results whatsoever, I'm going to go ahead and approve the 180-day open abatement contained in case CE 221476. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that's our agenda for this afternoon. Mr. Yocum, any announcements?
Yes, just the one. Our next scheduled hearing officer meeting is scheduled for June 21st at 5 p.m. That'll be here in the City of Tempe Council Chambers as well as live on Tempe 11.
Okay, great. Thank you. No further business, so we're adjourned.